Friends, today we will deal about the one of the new point, and it is a flower. So flower is a reproductive part of the plant, and flower is considered as the most beautiful creation of the nature. So this one is a reproductive part of the plant. So flower is a highly modified shoot bearing specialized leaves, and these leaves are generally considered as a floral leaves. If you see the word modified shoot, what is modified shoot? Shoot means stem. Okay, so this becomes the stem. Stem will show presence of nodes and internodes, as well as at the nodal region one can observe such a type of a leaves, and in the axil of leaves again axillary bud will be present. But here the flower is a highly modified shoot bearing specialized floral leaves. Which are those specialized floral leaves? The flower shows the whole or the specialized floral leaves in the form of calyx, then corolla, androecium, as well as gynoecium. The individual floral leaves may be the sepal, petal, stamen, as well as carpel, which are present on this modified shoot. Axis of flower is a condense to form the thalamus. So here whatever shoot present, it is present in the form of thalamus. Okay, which is a condensed to form a thalamus, commonly bearing 4 holes of the floral parts. One is a calyx, then corolla, androecium, and gynoecium. If you see the individual members of the calyx, it is called as a sepal. Member of corolla called petal. The member of androecium called stamen, while carpels form the whole of gynoecium. Carpel, or it may also denoted by pistil. Okay. In some plants, calyx and corolla may not be differentiated. Okay, and is represented by a single or two similar holes, then it is called as a perianth. An individual member of this perianth is called as a tepal. Pedicels may sometimes carry some bracteoles if present. Okay, the pedicels may sometimes carry small bracteole. What is bracteole? Usually, suppose this is the axis of the inflorescence, and this one be the flower. Okay, so this is a flower. This one part is called as a pedicel or stalk of the flower. Usually at the point of origin of this pedicel, a small scale like or leafy outgrowth is present, which is a reduced one. This one is called as a bract, and if such a bract present, then the flower is called as a bracteate flower. And if this bract if absent, then it is called as a ebracteate type of the flower. Sometimes minor bracts are present in between bract to the base of the flower. Such a bracts are called bracteole. Okay, these bracteoles may be present or may be absent according to the species. So pedicel may sometimes carry small bracteole. Such a type, these bracteoles are actually the bract-like structure, but they are present in between the bract or the portion of the bract and base of the flower. Okay, just see what is the definition of a flower. So flower is defined as a highly modified and condensed shoot, highly modified and condensed shoot of limited growth, specialized for sexual reproduction and formation of fruit and seeds. So very simple definition, flower is defined as highly modified and condensed shoot. So this one, flower is a condensed shoot. So this flower is modified from the stem. Okay, condensed, highly modified and condensed shoot, but it shows limited growth. Growth is a limited, growth is a restricted and specialized for sexual reproduction. It performs the function of sexual reproduction and formation of fruit and seed. The resultant product of the sexual reproduction is the fruit, and within the fruit one can observe the presence of the seeds. So flower is a modified shoot of determinate growth performing the function of reproduction. Okay, flower is a modified shoot performing the function of a reproduction, and it shows a limited growth. So just see the definition, remember this definition, flower is a highly modified and condensed shoot of limited growth, specialized for sexual reproduction and formation of fruit and seeds. Just see the parts of the flower, but before going to see the parts of the flower, just see this one image. So this is a part of the stem, okay, and this one is represent the leaf. This is the part where actually flower starts. The basal one part is called as a receptacle, or this receptacle is also called as a thalamus. It shows 4 floral holes. This one is a first floral hole which is green in color. This one is a second floral hole, reddish in color. This is the third hole, and innermost is the fourth hole. So outermost floral hole is called as a calyx. Second floral hole is called as a corolla. Third floral hole is called as a hole of a androecium, and innermost hole which is called as a gynoecium. Okay, so the calyx is made up of sepals. Okay, calyx hole formed by the sepal. Okay, or individual member of calyx is called as a sepal. In the same way, corolla is formed by means of the petals, or individual member of corolla is called as a petal. These are the stamens which forms the whole of androecium. Okay, and this individual stamen is differentiated into 2 parts. A stalk-like region is called as a filament, and tip region is called as a anther, and this one is the central region of the flower, or central hole of the flower, which is called as a gynoecium, and this gynoecium is formed by means of carpel or pistil. It shows 3 individual parts. The basal one part is called as a ovary. The pipeline like structure is called as a style, and apical region, which is a receptive spot for the pollen grain, is called as a stigma. Okay, so this one is a basic image of the flower. You can also observe this one figure. This is a receptacle. Just see what are the parts which are present in the flower. The receptacle, then just see the sepal, the whole which form the sepal which form the whole calyx. Then this one is a labeling for the staminode. Staminode is nothing but the sterile stamen or the stamen which is not functional is called as a staminode. This one is called as a stamen, the individual member of androecium whole. This is a labeling for the ovary, the basal one part of the gynoecium. This one is a petal representing the individual member of corolla. Style, the passage for the entrance of pollen grain from stigma to ovary or up to the ovule region is called as a style, the part of the carpel. Then these are the pollens. The pollen grains or microspores which are present within the anther. Then germinating pollen grains, usually after the pollination process. What is pollination? Transfer of pollen grains from anther to the stigma is called as a pollination. And after pollination, these pollen grains generally lodge on the tip of the stigma where they germinate. So these are the germinating pollen grains. This is the region of stigma. The receptive spot for the pollen grains is the stigma. This one is a labeling for the anther, the part of the androecium or stamen. This one is a filament. Then this one is egg cell, embryo sac. Actually, this totally one is a embryo sac, and this embryo sac consists of egg apparatus, two synergid cell, central egg cell, two polar nuclei or secondary nuclei, and three basal antipodal cell. This is actually the embryo sac. Okay, secondary embryo sac nucleus. Okay, this one is a secondary embryo sac nucleus which is formed by means of the union of two polar nuclei which are located in the center of the embryo sac before fertilization. Okay, so this is about the flower. Just see the parts of a typical flower. First one is a pedicel. What is pedicel? Pedicel is nothing but the stalk of the flower. Okay, suppose this one is a flower, then this flower shows a presence of a stalk. This stalk is called as a pedicel. The flower which has a pedicel or stalk is called as a pedicellate type of the flower. Okay, or stalked flower, while the flower which do not show such a type of a stalk, then that flower is called as a sessile flower. So sessile flowers are stalkless or pedicel-less flowers. Stalked flower can be observed in case of hibiscus, while in tuberose the flowers are sessile. So first one part is a pedicel. Then next one is the bract. Okay, we have already seen about the bract. Flower may be subtended by means of a bract, a modified, generally reduced leaf. Okay, suppose this is a flower and this one is the axis of the inflorescence or peduncle. Then at this place such a type of a leafy or somewhat scaly reduced one, an appendage is present, and this appendage is called as a bract. Okay, so flower may be subtended by means of a bract, which is usually a reduced leaf. So if such a bract is present, then flower is called as a bracteate flower. And if such a bract is absent, then the flower is called ebracteate type of the flower. Okay, Next one is a thalamus. Thalamus is the tip of the flower on which floral holes are arranged. If you see this one region, this greenish colored region here actually represent the thalamus. So it is the tip of the flower. One can see the stalk of the flower and tip of the pedicel or stalk, and base of the flower forms the region of a thalamus. So it is the apex or tip of the pedicel. Pedicel means stalk of the flower, which is a slightly swollen. It bears floral leaves. Which are floral leaves? Calyx, corolla, androecium, and gynoecium. These are actually the floral holes. And sepals, petals, tepals, stamens, carpels, these are actually considered as a floral leaves. Thalamus is also known as a receptacle, or also called as a torus. So these are the synonyms of the thalamus. Thalamus may be represented by the receptacle or by means of torus. It may be of different shape. It may be conical, it may be convex, may be flat, or may be concave in different plants. Thalamus shows presence of nodes and internodes. Okay, as flower is considered as a modified stem. Okay, so as you know, within the stem nodes are present. This one is the node, and at the nodal region you will observe such a type of a vegetative leaf. Okay, so if you observe such a type of leaves present on the stem, these leaves are usually present at the nodal region. Usually in monocot one can observe the presence of node, but in dicot these nodes are inconspicuous, they are not visible, but one can decide the place of the node by means of the presence of the leaves. The place where leaves originates, that is the place of node, and the distance between two nodes. So this one becomes the region or distance which represented by means of internode. Okay, so node region and internode region. Okay, so this thalamus also shows presence of nodes and internodes. So this one is actually the evidence which clearly states that flower is a modified shoot. So thalamus has nodes and internodes. Internodes are usually condensed. Okay, if you see the flower, this flower shows the presence, suppose this one is a typical flower, this is a calyx hole, this one is a corolla hole, and this one is a androecium hole. Okay, so if you see here, this calyx, corolla, androecium, gynoecium present, and here it is said that thalamus shows the nodes and internodes. The internodes will be in this form, but in majority of the flowers, about 99% of the flowers, these internodes are condensed one, these are suppressed one, and these are not distinct. But in some flowers these internodes are elongated, and flower shows anthophore, androphore, gynophore, gynandrophore, or carpophore types of the nodes and internodes. So the flower shows 4 nodes and 3 internodes. At each node, the whole calyx, corolla, androecium, and gynoecium. Okay, so 4 holes are present. That means there are 4 nodes are present, and within 4 nodes you will observe 3 internodes. Just see what are the nodes and internodes present, or what type of the nodes and internodes present among the thalamus. First one is a anthophore. Internode present between calyx and corolla is called as a anthophore. So see this one figure. This is part of the thalamus. This is a outermost hole which is called as a calyx, and this one hole is called as a corolla. This one part is the internode between calyx and corolla. The internode between calyx and corolla is called as a anthophore. Okay, just see here. The second one is a androphore. What is androphore? See here, this one is the hole of a calyx. This is the hole of a corolla. If you see here, actually the hole of androecium starts here, and this one is the hole of a gynoecium. So if you see this one here, internode is present in between corolla to androecium, and this internode is called as a androphore. See this one. This is the hole of a androecium. Here calyx and corolla are present. This is the internode, and this internode is formed by means of a corolla to androecium, and therefore this one is called as a androphore. See the next one figure. This one represents the gynophore condition. This is a hole of a calyx, hole of a corolla. These are the stamens, and this one is a carpel. Actually, ovary, style, and stigma. Actually, triple stigma or tripod stigma is present here. This is the internode present between corolla to androecium, and this internode is called as a gynophore. Okay, this internode is called as a gynophore. So the internode present between corolla to androecium is called as a gynophore, and this one condition, this is called as a gynandrophore. Which one? This one, gynandrophore or androgynophore. If presence of androphore and gynophore occurs together, then this one is called as a androgynophore or gynandrophore. If you see here, this one is a androphore, hole of calyx, then corolla. The internode present between corolla to androecium, this one is called as a androphore, and internode present in between androecium to gynoecium is called as a gynophore. If within a single flower, internode present between the corolla to androecium and androecium to gynoecium, that means androphore and gynophore togetherly, then it is called as a gynandrophore. So just see the presence of nodes and internodes. Anthophore, the internode present between calyx to corolla is called as anthophore. Internode present between corolla to androecium is called as androphore. Example is the fashion flower or passiflora. Gynophore, internode present between the androecium and gynoecium, androecium and gynoecium is called as a gynophore. Example, Capparis aphylla, curule plant, and gynandrophore. Gynandropsis pentaphylla is the best one example of gynandrophore. Gynandropsis, both androphore and gynophore if present together, then the condition is called as a androgynophore or gynandrophore. One more internode is observed here in the Phoeniculum and Coriandrum plants. Thalamus projects into the ovary and carpels remain fused to it, separating at the maturity. This prolongation of the thalamus is called as a carpophore. If you see here, this is the figure of the carpophore. What is carpophore? In this case, this is the ovary, and this ovary is formed by means of two carpels. Okay, below the ovary, thalamus will be present. Here, this thalamus projects into the ovary. Okay, such a type, this thalamus projects into the ovary, separating the carpel. Then this projection within a ovary of the thalamus is called as a carpophore. Okay, so in the coriander, such a type of a projection is present, and this projection is called as a carpophore. So thalamus projects into the ovary and carpels remain fused to it. Here thalamus actually projects into the ovary and separates the carpel. This prolongation of the thalamus is called as a carpophore. Okay, just see about the floral holes. So flower bears 4 floral holes. Okay, and these floral holes are called the calyx, the outermost one, corolla, second hole, androecium, third hole, which is a male reproductive hole, and gynoecium, the innermost hole, which is a female reproductive organ, which are arranged on the thalamus in ascending order. Okay, calyx and corolla are generally considered as a accessory hole or non-essential hole. These are generally considered as a supporting hole of the flower. Actually, calyx is generally considered as a supporting hole, while corolla is considered as a attracting hole for the pollinating agents, but it supports or protects the inner reproductive hole of the flower. So the outermost hole, calyx and corolla, are generally considered as an accessory hole or non-essential hole, and they are supportive in function, while androecium and gynoecium are inner and are considered as a necessary or essential hole of the flower. Why they are called as the essential hole? Because they are a reproductive hole. Androecium is a male reproductive hole, while gynoecium is a female reproductive hole of the flower. When all the 4 sets of the hole are present in a flower, then flower is said to be complete flower. Okay, if calyx, corolla, androecium and gynoecium, these are actually the indicators of the calyx, corolla, androecium and gynoecium in the floral formula. So K represent the whole of calyx, C represent the whole of corolla, A represent the whole of androecium, while G represent the whole of gynoecium. If all these floral holes are present in the flower, then the flower is said to be complete flower. And if any one of these is absent, then it is called as a incomplete flower. Okay, just see the symmetry of the flower. Symmetry of the flower depends on the size, shape and forms of the individual member of different floral holes. So symmetry of the flower depends on the size, shape and form of sepal, petal or tepal or stamen and carpel. Okay, these are proportionally placed on the thalamus. Just see the symmetry of the flower. 3 types of the symmetry is present. First one is actinomorphic, zygomorphic and asymmetric, or radial symmetrical, then bilaterally symmetrical and asymmetrical. These are the 3 symmetries observed among the flower. So just see what is actinomorphic, what is zygomorphic, and what is asymmetrical. Suppose see this one figure, a figure. In this case, the flower, if you consider a flower and you take a vertical cut of the flower, when you cut vertically this flower, if you find such a type of a number of planes where the flower can be divided in two equal halves or in two equal parts, half part. Suppose this is the angle where you cut the flower, this is the vertical cut, and you want to cut this flower. If two equal parts if form, then the flower is called as a actinomorphic type of the flower. Then what is zygomorphic? In case of zygomorphic type of the flower, one can find only a single plane, okay, to divide the flower in two equal parts. Here number of planes are available in case of symmetric or actinomorphic type of symmetry, while in case of zygomorphic symmetry you can find a single plane. Okay, so here a single plane will be present, and if you see asymmetric, there is nothing, any plane which can divide the flower in two equal parts. Okay, so actinomorphic, zygomorphic, and asymmetric, these are the three symmetries observed among the flower. When flower can be divided into two exactly equal half, this is a plural form of the half or parts, by taking any vertical section passing through the center, then it is called as a actinomorphic or radially symmetrical. Okay, so if you consider this one is a flower, this flower can be divided into two equal half or two equal part, passing taking any vertical section passing through the centers. This is the center. You can take multiple number of section, and this section divide the flower into two equal half. Okay, so this one symmetry is called as a actinomorphic symmetry or radial symmetry, and such a type of flower are generally considered as a regular type of the flower. Just see zygomorphic or bilaterally symmetrical. When flower can be divided into exactly two similar parts by taking only one vertical section. Very important word, only one vertical section passing through the center, then the flower is called as a zygomorphic or bilaterally symmetrical type of the flower. Okay, so here you can find only a single plane where flower can be divided into two equal parts. And what is asymmetrical or irregular flower? When flower cannot be divided into two similar parts by taking any vertical section, it is called as a asymmetrical or irregular type of the flower. Here this one type of the flower is also called as a irregular type of the flower, but here a flower is generally considered as a asymmetrical and irregular type of the flower and can be observed in a Canna indica. One more thing about this symmetry of the flower. Usually if you see the floral diagram of any flower, then the whole of calyx is present on outer side, then whole of corolla is present, okay, then whole of androecium is present, and in the center hole of gynosium is present. Here each hole, suppose this is a circle, okay, and this one is a center of circle, this one will become the radius. Okay, important thing that if each floral hole is present at equidistance from the center, each floral hole, the hole of androsium, hole of a gynosium, hole of a corolla, hole of a calyx, each individual floral hole is placed at equidistance from the center, then flower is called as a actinomorphic type of the flower. Okay, and shape, size of the individual member, that means sepal, petal, tepal or stamen, if the shape, size of these individual member is same, then flower becomes the actinomorphic. Okay, here you can this one is a circle and circle has a indefinite number of the radius, so one can take section of this flower, okay, such a type. If you find number of plane where flower can be divided into two equal part, then it is called as actinomorphic. Here each individual hole is placed equidistance from the center, and if they are not placed at equidistance, what is equidistance? Equi means equal, equidistance, equal distance. If they are not present at equal distance from the center, the flower is generally considered as a zygomorphic. And if there is nothing any plane where flower can be divided into two equal parts, then flower is said to be asymmetric. Okay, see, regular flower and irregular flower. Generally actinomorphic type of the flower are considered as a regular flower, zygomorphic type of flower is considered as a irregular flower. But if you see here, when all the petals of the flower are similar, then the flower is said to be irregular flower. Okay, when all the petals of the flower are similar in shape and size and they are placed at equidistance from the center, then they are called as a regular flower. Here only petal is considered. If you see the color of the flower, one says that a rose flower is a yellow in color, rose flower is a red in color. Okay, this red or yellow color is not totally flower color, it is the color of the petal, color of the corolla. So the color of the flower is decided by means of the color of the petal in majority of the cases. Okay, so here regular flower, when the flower when the petals of the flower are similar in shape, size, then it's called as a regular flower. And when all the petals of the flower are dissimilar in size and shape, they are called as a irregular flower. But these concepts are not totally correct. Correct concepts are actinomorphic, that means regular one, zygomorphic, that means irregular one, and third one is totally asymmetric. Okay, just see the sexuality among the flowers. What is sexuality? The flower may be complete or incomplete. If it is complete, then it shows whole of androsium as well as gynosium. But sometimes flowers are incomplete, and if they are incomplete on the basis of presence of the reproductive hole, then either staminal hole is present or carpellate hole is present. That means either androsium will be present or gynosium will be present. If any one among the among these two whole is absent, then flower is said to be incomplete, as well as it is generally considered as a unisexual flower. Okay, what is, just see these terms: bisexual, presence, bi means two, okay, uni means single. Presence of a single sex organ is a unisexual flower, or this one is called as imperfect. And bisexual, this one is called as a perfect. Why it is perfect? Because both the sex organs, androecium and gynoecium, are present. That's why it is a bisexual. It bears both stamen and carpel. That means whole of androecium and whole of a gynoecium is present. Therefore, it is called as a bisexual organ. Okay, so bisexual, presence of androecium and gynoecium. Unisexual, either presence of androecium or gynoecium. So bearing either stamen or carpel, and therefore it becomes two types: male flower or staminate flower, or female flower or pistillate flower, or this one is also called as a carpellate flower. So unisexual flower is of two types: male flower or staminate flower, and female flower or pistillate flower or carpellate flower. If flower possesses only stamens, carpel being totally absent, then flower is called as a male flower or staminate flower. And what is pistillate flower? Bearing carpels. That means if when flower possesses only the female reproductive organ and the whole of androecium is entirely absent, or when the whole of androecium is not functional. In other words, here staminodes may be present. Okay, when there is not functional stamens are present, then it is called as a pistillate flower or female flower. Okay, and what is bisexual flower? The flower in which whole of androecium and gynoecium present, they are called as a bisexual flower. So unisexual flower may be may form two types of the plant. First one is a monoecious type of the plant, or the plant may be dioecious. What is monoecious? Mono means two in one, okay, and dioecious, completely separate. These terms are somewhat different one. Monoecious, here unisexual flowers will be present. Okay, if male flower and female flower are separate, but if they are present on one and same plant, okay, one and same plant, then that plant is called as a monoecious plant. Okay, while dioecious plant, when male and female flowers are separate and if they occur on separate plant, then plant is said to be dioecious. In this case, the plants may be the male plant as well as female plant. Male plant which bears male flower and female plant which bears the female flower. If you see here, these are the two images. This one image represent the monoecious plant, while this image represent dioecious plant. So in case of cucurbita, okay, you will observe such a type of cases, or in case of papaya, you will observe such type of plant. Some papaya plant do not bear flowers, do not bear fruits. Why they do not bear the fruit? Because that plant is the male plant. Okay, so this one is a male flower, this one is a female flower. So in case of cucurbitaceae family, or in case of papaya plant, the male flower bearer plant is separate one and female flower bearer plant is separate one. So in this case, these plants are called as a dioecious plant. But if you see this one, maize plant, this is a female flower and this one is a male flower. Both male flower and female flower are separate, but they are present on one plant, single plant. Therefore this one is called as a monoecious type of the plant. Okay, the next one part we will see in the next one video. Just stop here. I hope this video will be helpful for you.